Okay, so uh, welcome back to my YouTube channel. We are dealing today with multiplication and and division of fractions. Okay, so this is what we are going to look at today. Okay, so we are going to divide our board into two parts. Okay, please don't mind my ruling, it can look terrible. So let us get a smaller pen. Okay, all right, so we are going to first of all look at multiplication. So multiplication of fraction is one of the easiest operation in fraction, okay, because generally we have it as a over b multiplied by c over d. That will give you the numerators will multiply itself while the denominators will multiply itself. The numerator a and c is going to multiply, which will give you a times c, all over the denominator b and d is going to multiply, which will give you b times d. So when you multiply that, you are going to have ac over bd. So that's just how we deal with multiplication in fraction. So let us use numbers now to take example. Example, evaluate 3 over 4 times 5 over 6. So in a very simple way, you multiply the numerators. That will give you 15 over, you multiply the denominators, 4 times 6, that will give you 24. Okay, so after you have done that, now you will now ask yourself, is there anything that you can use to divide the numerator that can also divide the denominator? In this case, yes, we have 3 can go in both, so 3 here will give you 5, while 3 here will give you 8. So that gives us our answer. So we can also have, let's have this as number 1. We can also have number 2. It can be a mixed fraction times maybe another mixed fraction, or it can also be just an improper fraction. So whichever one it is, remember what we did last time. Anytime you have a mixed fraction and you want to carry any operation in fraction, it is advisable for you to first of all change this to what? Improper fraction. When you change it to improper fraction, it makes it easier. So that will give you 4 times 1, 4 plus 3, that will give you 7 over 4 times 7 over 2. Remember, numerator multiply itself, while denominator multiply itself. If the numerator multiply itself here, 7 times 7, that will give you 49 over 4 times 2, that will give you 8. So that gives us our answer. Okay, so we can also have two mixed fractions. Let's take example number 3. We can have two mixed fractions. Let's say 1 over 3 whole number 1 over 2 times 1 whole number 7 over 6. Okay, so you do the same thing. Make sure that you change this to mixed improper fraction. Is a mixed fraction already, so change it to improper fraction. It makes it easier. So 2 times 3, that will give us 6, plus 1, that will give us 7. So 7 will come at the numerator, over 2 times 6 times 1, 6 plus 7, that will give us 13. So you have 13 over 6. So remember, numerator multiply itself, denominator multiply itself. So that will give you 7 times 13 over 2 times 6, which is what? 12. So 7 times 13, that will give you 91, okay, all over 12. Okay, so that becomes our answer. All right, so let's have the last example. We can have a whole number that is multiplying a fraction. Let's say 3 times 2 over 7. 3 times 2 over 7. What are we going to do? In a situation that you have a whole number, of course it's not a fraction, it's a whole number multiplying a fraction, it is advisable that you first of all change this whole number here to what? Fraction. And how do you change it to fraction? It's just by putting all over 1 times 2 over 7. So now you have this, you can equally do what we have been doing, which is 3 times 2 over 1 times 7. So that will give you 6 over 7. Okay, so I think we have solved different kind of problems that one can be given in multiplication of fraction. Okay, so let's move to page 2 to deal with division of fraction. So let's create our page 2. Okay, now let's check our okay. So let's use another color this time around. So let's look at division of fractions. Okay, so when you have division, generally, how does division looks like? A over B divided by C over D. So this is division of two fractions. So in this case, what are we going to do? It is very simple. Whenever you have two fractions dividing each other, okay, A over B or A over B, which is a fraction, divided by C over D. What are we going to do? The first thing to do, A over B is on the left hand side, while C over D is on the right hand side. So the A over B will remain the same, okay, while we change this division to multiplication, and the fraction at the right hand side will interchange. It will give us the inverse, okay, which is what? D over C. So you can see what have happened there. C over D have changed to what? D over C. Why will it change? Because we have changed the division sign to what? Multiplication sign. Then when we change it to multiplication, we have to do what we have done before, okay, in the last page, which is A times D over B times C. Okay, so this is how we are going to solve our problem. So let's divide our board this time. Oh, I thought the line is going to be straight. Okay, let's solve examples. Let's evaluate 3 over 4 times 1 over 6. Okay. Oh, we are not multiplying. Sorry about that. We are actually dividing. Okay. Divide by 1 over 6. Okay, so what are we going to do? That will give us 3 over 4. Remember what I showed you here, that the fraction at the left hand side will remain the same, while the fraction at the right hand side will interchange when we change division to what? Multiplication. So that will give us multiply by what? 6 over 1. So that will give us 3 times 6 will give us 18, while 4 times 1 will give us 4. And I think there is still something we can divide. 2 can go in both. So 2 in 18 will give you 9, while 2 in 4 will give you 2. Okay, so let's look at another form of fraction. If we have a mixed fraction, divide by probably another mixed fraction, or okay, let's say another mixed fraction. It can still be a fraction that is not a mixed fraction. It can be a proper fraction, it can be a improper fraction. It follows the same rule. First of all, change your mixed fraction to an improper fraction. Then you carry out the way we have been doing it here. So that will give you 2 times 1 here, 2 times 1, that will give you 2, plus 1, that will give you 3 over 2, because one whole number, 1 over 2, will give you 3 over 2. Then divide by 3 times 2, 6, plus 1, 7, so 7 over 3. So that will give us 3 over 2. Remember, when you change to multiplication, the fraction at the left hand side will change. That will give us 3 over 7. So when you multiply your numerator, you have 9. When you multiply your denominator, you have 14. Okay, so let us look at number 3. Number 3, let's assume that we have a whole number divided by a fraction. Okay, that is 5 over 4. What are we going to do? The same thing that I said in the last page. If you have a whole number and you are carrying out any operation in fraction, it is advisable for you to change that your whole number to fraction. And how do you change a whole number to fraction? It's just for you to put all over 1. So when you divide by 1, it becomes a fraction. Multiply, this one will interchange, which will give you 4 over 5. So 1 times 4, 4, and 1 times 5, 5. So you can see how simple it is. Now, sometimes we might have something that is like this. Let's say 3 over 4 all over 5 over 6. Okay, so all you need to do is take this one as a single fraction, this one as a single fraction, this all over, you change it to what? Division. Okay, this all over, you change it to division. That will give you 3 over 4 divided by 5 over 6. Okay, so that will give you 3 over 4 times 6 over 5. 2 can go here, 2 can go here, 3. So that will give us 9 over 10. Okay, so you can also have this form, this type, where one of them is a whole number. Let's see example number 5. If you have 1 over 3 all over 5, 1 over 3 all over 5, is also advisable to first of all express this in this form. Okay, express it in this form, then you now carry out your division, which is 1 over 3 divided by what? 5 over 1. I have changed the whole number here to a fraction, which is 5 over 1. So that will give us 1 over 3 times 1 over 5. So that will give us 1 over 15. So that's our answer there. That's our answer there. Okay, so that's how to do simple division of fractions. Okay, so we are moving to algebraic fraction. We are going to carry out all these operations in algebraic fraction. We are going to look at how can we add in algebraic fraction, how can we divide in algebraic fraction, how can we multiply in algebraic fraction, and how can we divide in algebraic fraction, which will now lead us from algebraic fraction to algebraic fraction that involve equation. That's equation involving fraction. Okay, so I'm glad to see you in my next video. Please do well to subscribe. Okay, subscribe so that we can keep dropping more videos for you and you can keep enjoying the mathematics. Thank you very much. See you in our next video.